Wait, hold on 1 second. What's going on? Anyway, what's up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. Coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Chris Don One. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Based on a True Story podcast. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Share this live with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Let's get this lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? All right, y'all. Story time, story time, story time. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Man, probably been wondering where the hell I been. All right. So, first and foremost, uh, sorry about the lives. Your boy been kind of real busy. I really haven't had time to do any lives. But some interesting stuff happened last week. Let me tell y'all something. First and foremost, we all knew in my city that it was going to snow, and we just didn't know how long we had to deal with it. Now, in my city, man, 1 inch of snow will shut this whole entire city down. We're not known or used of snow. As many times as we had it year after year, you would think we would have some type of understanding of snow. But apparently we don't. It, you know, Snow in my city is like Christmas morning. Remember your first Christmas morning, you didn't know what to expect, but then when you get down there and you see that tree and there's toys and presents under that tree, you are discombobulated. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to open. That's how we are in our city, man. It snows every single year, and every single year we're like new to it. Okay, we're not good at driving with it. We're just not good of understanding it. We just not good dealing with it. Okay, personally, we don't even want it. Okay, but yeah, nevertheless, the only people there's only two people that like it. Only two people like it when it snows, and particularly when it shuts the city down: kids and lazy people. People that want a reason to call out for work. Kids wanting a reason not to go to school. And the snow came at a perfect time because the kids were still on their they're still on their holiday break. So it extended their holiday break. But kids don't understand, like, you're gonna pay for this later when it gets hot in the summertime. Now you gotta stay in school a week later. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. So, and then you got people that want a reason to call out from work. And what better excuse than to get on the horn and tell your boss you're unable to make it to work today because you're snowed in? Everyone lives uphill. All of a sudden, everybody lives uphill. Nobody lives at the bottom of the hill. Nobody lives where there's no hills. All of a sudden, everybody lives on top of a hill. Well, I would like to come in, but I'm on top of a hill, and if I try to go down the hill, I'm just gonna be slipping and sliding, and I'm gonna end up damaging my car and hurting myself. All of a sudden, everybody lives on top of the hill. That's neither here nor there. Okay, so yeah. So we knew a week ago that this was going to go down. So we had a week head start. And when I mean we, I'm talking about the whole city. We all knew that it was going to happen. Okay, the weatherman kept telling us, 7 days from now we're going to get snow. 5 days from now we're going to get snow. 3 days from now we're going to get snow. So we had an ample amount of time to prepare for when shit happens. Okay? But did anyone prepare? The smart people prepared, but we don't expect the unexpected. You did. No matter how much you prepare, you don't fully prepare for everything because you don't know what is going to happen. You dig what I'm saying? Because, sometimes life comes up with a left hook. You didn't expect that. So, anyway, back to what I'm saying. Yeah. So, we had time to prepare for this. All right. So, it starts to snow. It starts to snow in the daytime. It starts snowing in the daytime. And at first, it's just like snow, falling. Just snow, nothing major, nothing major. Okay, and then later on that day, it was snow, and it was rain, but it was cold rain. And the one thing about snow is it's not difficult to drive in snow, but it's extremely difficult to drive in ice, and that's what pretty much happened later on that evening. Whatever snow melted, whatever water that was on the floor, on the streets, it turned into ice. And it was a major nightmare. Now, when it ices, people pay attention to the roadway. Of course, that's very important. Pay attention to the road because the road is icy. The bridges got ice. Okay, everywhere is ice. But what people fail to realize is ice also affects your roof. It adds more weight to your roof. Wasn't a whole lot of reports of roofs falling or caving in or anything like that, but ice does something to trees and branches. More importantly, branches. So it gotten so cold and it was so much ice on the branches begin to fall. And and trees, when trees start to get heavy, it starts to fall. And in some cases, it explodes. Now, there was a couple of trees in my area, you know, and exploded. And it sounds like a rifle going off. I heard two bangs when it was ice everywhere. Now, back to the branches. Now, when the branches form ice around it, the branches get heavy. Guess what happens when the branches are heavy? Now, the tree can't support those branches, and the branches fall off, and they hit the power lines. Okay. Now, that shut power for everybody in my city. Just about everybody in my city lost power. Now, the key thing of it is how long you gonna be without power. All right. It's one thing if like a small area or a county or maybe part of the state that loses power, but when the whole entire city lose power, you have a problem. Okay, and everybody was losing power. Okay, once again, you prepare for anything, but you can't prepare for the unexpected. Okay, you can make precautions. You can say, okay, we should focus on this, we should focus on that, but you can't. There's no such thing as a checklist you check off and say, okay, are we prepared for this? Okay, cool, we prepare for that. We prepare. Sometimes you can't prepare for the unexpected, and the unexpected was everybody was without power. Now there were some people that was, like case with us. We was like our power went down Sunday. A lot of people power went down Sunday morning. Our power went down Sunday morning, like around 3-4 o'clock in the morning. All right. So we were saying to ourselves, okay, power probably gonna be back on in a day. We might have to stay in the house, one night without power. Bear in mind, it's cold. It's cold out there. Okay, you need power. You don't really appreciate what you have until it's gone. And the one thing we as people don't appreciate is power, because power is so responsible for so many things. Power is responsible for lights, Wi-Fi, it's television, but more importantly, heat. Your central air unit cannot run without power. And man, it was virtually cold in here. I mean, extremely cold in here. Okay. Now we bared the elements, but there was other people that were not as fortunate as us. There was a lot of people that lost their lives because it was cold. It was so cold in their houses. Okay, some people died from just the extreme temperatures of cold. Other people died of carbon monoxide. So people would when the power went out, people started pulling out their power generators, and a lot of their power generators, you have to put gas in it or or kerosene oil or whatever. Okay, and but see when you're running it, you got to have that shit outside because those gases from those generators you can't run it inside. A lot of people ran that stuff inside, and unfortunately they lost their lives. There was a report of an older woman. She had a kerosene heater next to her bed. Okay, and she slept right next to the kerosene heater, and then she didn't wake up the next morning. Okay, so you gotta be careful. People lost their lives so many ways, particularly in my city. So yeah, our power went down for like it was like 4 o'clock Sunday morning. We made it through one night, but then I said to myself, "Yo, we can't make another night." And then when we didn't hear anything from our power company about when we're going to get our power on, and then when we didn't see any trucks out there restoring the power, and you still see you see these big ass tree limbs all in the streets and stuff, not being picked up. You seen power lines all on the streets and stuff. Okay, you have to assume that it's gonna be a minute till we get power. So I said to myself, "Hey man, we gotta get in a hotel." So um, we need to find a hotel. But see, the problem with that is everyone else was trying to get into a hotel, and we got late in the game. Now, lucky for us, we found a hotel, and I charged it for 2 days. So Monday night we slept in a hotel, and we was about to sleep in there for Tuesday night. So, but I got an alert on my phone that they restored power in my area. So I was saying to everybody, I said, "Yo, I'm gonna go home the next day to see if that we got power, because they can say we got power in our area. Don't necessarily mean we have electricity in where we at." Okay, so I went up home, power was on and everything like that. So I said, "Hey, let's go back home." So our power got restored Tuesday morning. So we was without power for like two and a half days. But then there was other people that was been without power even longer than us. Some people, the majority of people didn't get their power on until like that Friday. So we was at home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with power, but there was other people out there that didn't have power. And still to this day, people still ain't got power. And it's past 7 days. Now, the mayor issued a statement talking about, "Hey, look, this is unacceptable. We need to talk to the electric company. We need to have conversations. We need to figure out, okay, why it's taking so long for so many people to get their power and things of that nature." And it got to a point where the electric company, they was getting so much flack that they stopped going to the meeting. They're like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna keep going to these meetings getting beat up. Okay, I'm not going to these meetings and people all in my face talking about when I'm gonna get my power." Okay, so they didn't. So they stopped going to the meetings. All right, so just left the mayor there stranded. Just stranded there. They was having rallies and they were protesting and things of that nature, trying to figure out when they're gonna get their power. Today, here we are Tuesday, and there's some people out there still ain't got their power on. And I feel sad for those people. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like the reason why we got our power on early is we don't live too far from this senior living home, and they was out without power. Now, can you imagine like some senior citizens at this senior living home? They ain't got no power. So one of the local news companies went over there and they talked to a couple of people, and I knew I was gonna get our power because I was sitting in the hotel and I was telling everybody, I said, "I guarantee we get our power on." Cause man, people don't want to see old white people, eh, you know, struggling. You dig what I'm saying? So they out, the reporter said So y'all been without power ever since Sunday, and what are y'all gonna do? Have anyone came to y'all and told y'all when the power was going to come on? You know good well nobody came over there and told them when the power was going. But anyway, the reporter wanted to ask them that because the reporter knew that them old white people they're gonna speak their mind. Okay, so this old white lady came with some. She was clutching her pearl. She was going like she was saying like. We've been without power for so many days. Ain't nobody came to check up on us. We ain't had power yet. Man, when that came on the local news that midday, then they showed the 6 p.m. local news. They had like 3 power trucks over there. And I told everybody, I said, watch, I guarantee we'll get our power on. So when they got their power on, our whole section over here got our power on. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's been a struggle over here. You dig what I'm saying? You know, people without power. People don't know when they're gonna get their power. Yeah, so it's rough out here. You dig what I'm saying? So thank God that we got our power, but there's some people out there that still ain't got their power, man, and the struggle's real. So yeah, I feel sad for them people, man. You dig what I'm saying? I feel sad for them people, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to give y'all a little update. See, tell you what your boy been doing, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna try to come with some more live streams. I'm gonna start doing them next week. So be on the lookout for them. I got some more stories. I'm also going to bring back Too Early for This podcast. That's going to be on Saturday mornings. So if you want to, but the thing about that is I'm not going to be talking about no gossip, no entertainment type shit. Because YouTube been cracking down on that stuff. You dig what I'm saying? Plus, it's not my bag. It just ain't my bag. And I've been getting out of the gossip entertainment type ish and focusing more on, I was doing a lot of episodes giving you guys some OF news, some OnlyFans news, but YouTube is cracking down on that too. So if I do bring back Too Early for This podcast, I'll just be talking about one story and we'll just focus on that. But definitely I'm gonna keep going on with based on a true story podcast. I'm gonna, I kind of dig this, but it's not gonna be every day. It's probably gonna be bi-weekly. So one episode every 2 weeks, and we'll just play it by ear from there. But yeah. So I just want to tell y'all guys what's going on. I still got shorts up. I just downloaded a bunch of shorts to my page. Go check out those shorts. Like those shorts as well. I'm also got something coming out of the pipeline very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that as well. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. I really do appreciate you guys that's been subscribing to the page. Continue to subscribe to the page. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And, I'm going to still keep it crack-a-lacking. Oh, I did do a video that I was shocked that is getting a lot of views. And that's reviewing fast food. So I might continue to do that. The mukbang videos, things of that nature. If that's what y'all want, I'm going to give y'all that. And give you guys my review of certain things that's going on in my city. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys later. Hope everyone have a safe, I think next week starts springtime. So come on, spring. I'm tired of this cold ass weather. Just be safe out there. This is Black History Month. So, this whole month is for the African American community. So, appreciate that as well. And don't spend all your refund checks in one place, okay? I got bills to take care of with my refund check, so my refund check is already spent, okay? So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys later. Deuces. I appreciate all the likes, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support.